All right, we are live. Welcome to the Spin and Backfist MMA show, post UFC 313 edition. It is Robbie Fox, Big F, and Jack Mack here at 1:32 a.m. Eastern time. Although it's daylight savings, so that's going to reset at some point here. Right after UFC 313 wrapped up, we got a new champ. We've got robberies to talk about, potential robberies to talk about. Obviously, I feel like we should probably start with the main event. Ev, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, really close fight. I thought Ankalaev won. I thought he won 2-3-4. I wouldn't have cried robbery. I bet Ankalaev wouldn't have cried robbery if Poatan got it. The only thing I thought the commentary was like really trying to will those leg kicks home. Like really, like he's battering Ankalaev's legs. His movement was never interfered, like compromised whatsoever.
And
I mean, it was a close fight, but I mean, the biggest takeaway is, I mean, Ankalaev outstruck him on the feet. I thought. I mean,
Yeah.
He obviously used the cage control, and I think that was ultimately what really won him the fight. But I mean, he almost knocked him out at the end of the second round. I mean, I thought he landed the more damaging shots throughout the fight. Yeah, he outstruck him. It's an absolute nightmare for the UFC. The video of Dana, that was really like, I'm so happy Jack tweeted because I thought the same thing. The moment that Bruce Buffer tells Dana who won, and you just see his face just drop, he just goes mean mug, and immediately almost just takes like a pacing step of like, oh fuck. And then as he's about to say it, he got his steps towards Ankalaev, and I was like, yep, this is it.
Yeah.
So,
I noticed when he stepped towards Ankalaev, I was like, fuck. I mean, this current crop of champions that we have, I tweeted like, what a current crop of champions in the UFC. It's not great.
Especially for a company that's in the midst of, I think, media negotiation rights. Not that I think that would really affect it that much, but yeah, it can't feel good. And it wasn't like Ankalaev. If Ank finished him in the second round and they got that highlight, I think Dana would have been like, all right, that's no big deal. But
yes,
but now it's just, even I agree with what Ev said. I didn't think Poatan did enough. His striking wasn't, he seemed almost, I don't want to say scared. He never really got on that front foot, which we even saw him against Roundtree when he did. He didn't against Ank. And yeah, they were
going to give it to him, to be honest. I thought they were going to give him like 135 he would have been given or whatever. Like,
yes,
I thought they were going to give it to him, and I wouldn't have been like upset either way. The fight felt too close to call. There were a few rounds that were so inactive. Like, it didn't feel like either guy truly like fought their heart out tonight for the championship. It was a weird fight to watch. Like, not in like a disrespectful way. It was just like that moment at the end of the second round was the peak of excitement, and like nothing else even came slightly close.
I was watching it and thinking of because this felt like it was kind of one of the bigger UFC pay-per-views from a casual's perspective in a little bit. There was a lot of people really excited for this, for Poatan. I was very excited to see it. Gaethje Fiziev delivered. But
good fight. Really good fight, yeah.
Even with after the second round and through the third, I was thinking there's probably a lot of people watching this in bars right now and just rolling their eyes or kind of just like, oh, what is this? And then Ank, when it felt like he was really going to take over in the fifth, he just didn't. And Poatan, how much do you think he hurt him with that head kick? I don't think he hurt him that bad.
I don't think he hurt him that bad either. Like, it was maybe if he started pouring it on, he could have put something together there. But even then, I almost felt like the Sean O'Malley Marab fight I was rewatching, where it was like, all right, you're the champ. It's the fifth round. You might be down here. And that fight, he was obviously down. In this one, it was like, we have no idea where the scorecards are going. I would have loved to see some killer instinct, but there was none.
There was none throughout the entire night. It felt like he was loading up on that right hook the entire night. It felt like it was almost like he was like a quarterback, kind of like shifting back his weight to throw it, but he never really threw it. Maybe that just goes to show how good of a striker Ankalaev is. But it's crazy that we're sitting here And Ankalaev went. Imagine we said before this, Ankalaev's gonna go 0 for 11 on takedowns.
I know. He did a good job defending the takedowns. Yeah.
Poatan, I would have put Poatan minus 500, minus 750. But
it's just so weird. I thought like if this was gonna be a boring fight, it was gonna be because Ankalaev took him down and held him down. For you to tell me the entire fight was pretty much standing and it was this boring was crazy to me.
See, I thought if he had my vision going into the fight was like if he takes him down, he's gonna just maul him. Like I really thought if he got a takedown early in a round, it was gonna be like curtains for Poatan. No, I mean you can clearly tell he's been working. I mean, it felt like they almost set him up to where he had like 2 years of like strikers to like get to this moment. And like Ankalaev, like finally they give Roundtree the shot before him. Like Yuri gets a second shot before he gets it. Like they clearly it was like it almost was like they felt like O'Malley, like we're giving him like time. He had the year off for Aljo. It almost felt a little bit like that, like with the matchmaking. But his takedown defense was incredible. It was shocking that he didn't get him down at all. But I mean, obviously the cage control definitely helped win the decision.
And
I agree. Just weird fight, but Ankalaev's boxing was better. I think it truly was just better.
Also, he tired him out. You could tell by a lot of that cage pushing, cage control, the grappling. He was dead at the end of round 4. But, I mean, he had a good round 5, so how dead really was he? Ankalaev, and I think that's a really great point from Ev earlier when he said the commentary was just sucking off Poatan with the leg kick. They were almost expecting them to like become just the worst thing that's ever happened to Ankalaev. They said like at some moment in the first round,
landed. They were. It was like
they made it seem like Ankalaev wasn't going to be able to walk in the second round.
I thought it was impressive that he was, though. I mean, he got hit with like 36 leg kicks, the most Poatan's ever hit anyone with. I was keeping an eye on his leg, seeing it was getting redder and redder. I thought that would play a factor. I was kind of under the impression, like commentary, it would, but it obviously didn't.
Yeah, and the commentary is the commentary. It's Joe, it's DC. But I do agree with that. Like it felt like it's kind of how much do you score those leg kicks, specifically round 1, because I don't think
that's all there was to score in round 1. Weird, no.
I don't think he landed in round 1 outside of the leg kicks.
He didn't.
I was going to say if he did, it was a nothing shot.
Or he did, I think maybe 1. Well, that's why to me it was very like, I thought like Ankalaev clear 2-4. Like 2 was the clearest, not even close. 4, I thought 4 was the second clearest of the whole fight, Ankalaev. And then I thought Ankalaev won 3. I thought the first round was a coin flip. And then even the 5th round was like kind of a coin flip. Maybe like a
by the end, he started coming back.
I'm not saying it should have been 50-40 on Ankalaev. I definitely don't think it should have. But I think it was closer to like, I think Jack, you might have tweeted out, like I think it was closer to 4-1 Ankalaev than maybe it was to 3-2 Poatan. Like I just felt like he never landed anything super, super significant. Like I thought Ankalaev landed at least like 5-6 shots that were more damaging than Poatan's that head kick, maybe more. I mean, he landed quite a few shots that I think had Poatan had his attention for real.
Even throughout the night, it felt as if they were, and maybe it was because of Huffy's leg kick KO, but it seemed like there was a lot of leg kicks they were reacting to as if they were really round winners. When sometimes I felt like they were blocked, but then again, the margins were so slim here that I think we all agree. Like I've said, wouldn't have been mad if Ankalaev didn't get the decision, even as an Ankalaev better. But I think it was closer to 49-46 Ankalaev than 48-47 Poatan. And
shout out to the Ankalaev bettors, by the way, on DraftKings. DraftKings, of course, the sponsor of Spin and Backfist and the official sports betting partner of the UFC. With UFC 313 in Vegas tonight, everyone was placing bets. We'll obviously be using DraftKings throughout the remainder of the year, throughout the remainder of our lives to bet on UFC. I hit one parlay tonight. I think I had Lemos, and I had like a 3-leg parlay, Lamos, Ruffy, and someone else. It was like +3 something. So I was happy about that return. Nothing else really hit for me tonight, but I will be giving it another shot in the coming weeks, the coming pay-per-views with DraftKings. We've got a good deal for everyone. If you go to DraftKings right now, new customers can bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code BACKFIST. It's code BACKFIST for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Do you think they fight again?
Yeah.
I don't know. I was wondering the same thing. Like, my instinct says yeah. At the same time, it's like a sellable fight in the sense that any Poatan fight is sellable, but there's definitely like more exciting Poatan fights out there. If he were to go to heavyweight or something like that, like I could see him getting tempted to go to heavyweight or something instead of like, I don't know, that guy wasn't that exciting in the fight. Do I go back to him?
I think he gets immediate rematch.
If he wants it, he definitely gets it.
I think he gets. I'd be surprised if he doesn't get it.
Yeah.
I just think because the other people at the top of light heavyweight right now, he'll like I think if like are they gonna just throw like the winner of Hill Roundtree like back in it over like you know what I mean? Who else are you gonna go with? Like the winner of like Reyes like Krylov next month, like that. I don't think that guy's getting a title shot right now. He needs that winner of that needs another win. I think Hill Roundtree probably the same. I mean,
what about Olberg Jan? I think
no. The reason Olberg could get it, Jan with a win could not get it because Dana, I think, would rather gouge his eyeballs out than run back Jan Blachowicz and Goliath. He hated that fight so much.
Yeah,
there's no way he does it again for the belt. No way. If Olberg wins, I think they might do.
That's fair.
No, but the thing with that is though, they would do Poatan first because then they would love if Poatan could win, they'd love to throw Olberg to Poatan.
Yeah.
That'd be like a dream. That'd be a dream scenario for them. Fresh blood kickboxer.
And Poatan seemed pretty like right after they asked him, "What are you going to do?" He's like, "I'm going to go back, take a few days off back in the gym." It seems
he wasn't bummed at all. Like he was fine with how tonight went, weirdly.
And yeah, I feel like he's a guy who's probably lost his how many times did he lose his belt in Pride? And like he's lost it a bunch, came back. I think he'll be fine. But there's a bunch of pay-per-views in the upcoming future that he could do it. And then he's such a star that if he wants it, I think the UFC gives it to him.
Also, I see somebody saying Yuri. I mean, how could Yuri get it a third time? He hasn't even fought again. He's not getting it.
It's just always in the mix, I guess.
No, Yuri's always one away. He's such a he's so
and the UFC loves him.
Away, but he doesn't even have a fight book.
Wait, Yuri did win, right? He did fight. Who did he beat? He beat Hill.
I guess he beat Hill. That's right. I guess he beat Hill. I guess, but
he needs another win.
He needs another one after that, though. I'm saying he needs another one. Like that's. I don't think that's not going to do it.
What do you do with Gaethje next?
Great question.
I mean, I think the
try to make the Hooker fight.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, it's like the big question is, well, like, what do you do? It all comes down to what do they want to do with Topuria?
Yeah, who said today that like his next opponent he doesn't even have set in stone.
So then why is he tweeting?
Why did he tweet? It's going to be unbelievable.
He's
talking about fucking Daredevil, which like I know I'm a nerd and like this should be my perfect crossing of realms or whatever, but like is he saying my next opponent you're not going to believe because it's a commercial where he's going to fight Daredevil?
Probably.
It's probably something like that.
Like Juan Soto did that before he signed. He's like, I have a big announcement, like I have a press conference, here it is. And then he like signed with forget what it was, like Gatorade or something.
Also, speaking of commercials, it's not pay-per-view related, but how many people fell for the Cheeto Vera clip that looked like the most obviously fake.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, this guy rolls up out of the clouds. Like, it didn't even look like he got out of a car. He was just walking out of the cul-de-sac with a 10-foot long knife, going after the one UFC fighter that lives on the block. Come on.
He's wearing the auto body or whatever.
Yeah. He just happens to have his sawed-off shotgun in the passenger seat, whatever it was. Yeah, come on. The roofie knockout. Holy shit. What a
Okay,
weird
Joseph Orlando.
knockout in real time, by the way. Oh, yeah.
Joseph Orlando. I'm probably like, if anything, I've
You
been
are
accused
the
of
pro Ilya guy.
I'm a Taporia meat rider. Like I was more mad that the tweet was a promotional tweet. Like, sorry that I
Yeah.
don't agree with everything. Joseph Orlando's been mad the entire night, but
Has he been?
at
An
least
angry
during the
elf.
stream, like I've seen him in the chat. But hey, we
but
welcome
that
everybody in
knockout,
here.
the spinning wheel kick knockout, in real time did not look that bad. Like we texted, like almost looked fake when you watch it in real time. When you watch it slowed down, it's like, okay, it hit the fucking off switch directly on the temple. But holy shit, the fighting nerds keep it rolling.
Unreal. I mean, yeah, that was that. I mean, that's like knockout of the year, probably. It's. I mean, it's. I think immediate guaranteed nominee. I'm calling. I think.
Oh,
way.
definitely.
I mean, that was insane.
It'll be in the discussion at the very least.
I think it's partly that Bobby Green's chin, head, whatever you want to call it, is gone at this point. I think from taking damage like that. I mean, the Jaylen Turner knockout took like years off it. That was insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. He called out Dariush, right? I actually don't hate that call out.
I like that. I like that fight. And Dariush doesn't really have anything to do right now either.
Because I think another guy in Dariush, who I think the chin might be by its wayside at this point. He hasn't fought in a while either, Dariush.
No, he was supposed to, and then yeah.
I like that call out for Ruffy. I kind of was almost surprised by the call out. I didn't really expect it.
Yeah,
but
I didn't
mind it.
It's because nobody calls him out. It's like
Dariush isn't old. He's like 32 or something.
He just looks old, I think.
Yeah, it's good the gray hair. And he like never cuts his
35, sorry, but still, it's the gray hair. It's not that old.
No. I mean, speaking of not that old, how about Jaylen Turner, 29, retiring tonight after losing?
It seems as if the walk-off KO that wasn't the walk-off KO against Moicano ruined him mentally. Like, it's like he hasn't recovered. Which, I mean, hey, if your head's not there, fighting's not the sport for you at all. So
yeah, and he said he's been thinking about this since UFC 300.
Yeah, so I mean, I wish him nothing but the best. It seemed like he was pretty at peace. He wasn't like that devastated about it. He was pretty much.
It was weird. Yeah, it almost seemed like he like wanted to do this, and tonight like reaffirmed his. He was like, no, I definitely should have retired. But it was a weird fight tonight too because he looked good in the opening moments. And then just like made a stupid mistake. The second they got on the ground, his corner screaming, be patient, be patient. He just like wasn't taking his time with anything. Got right into full guard and then immediately hit with a triangle. And he looked just disappointed tapping.
And I mean, like, it wasn't like he quit because there were some moments early in the fight that there were some exchanges that he took some punches, like he was fine. Yeah. But I guess he just, if your heart's not in it, but also he's a guy. Ooh, he's a guy.
You're right.
Yeah, no, I like hit it. I hit my computer and then it hit the glass.
Made like a cartoon sound effect. The glass. Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
But sorry, I lost my train of thought. He's a guy that's so young that he may come back in a year or so and be like, hey, I want to actually keep fighting.
I can already picture John Anik being like, he's at 170, he's refreshed, a whole new outlook on life here. Like, come back to the welterweight division. No, I mean, he respectfully, he's a prolific bag fumbler. I mean, the amount of fights that I think that's what's fucking with his head, because every fight I watch him, I'm like, he should have won that fight and he just loses. Like the Hooker fight. I mean, also Hooker ate like the craziest head kick I've ever seen. But regardless, he just doesn't have a little bit of that. His durability is not great. Like I don't want to call him a quitter, but he just like when he gets hurt, he'll shell up. Obviously, the Hooker fight, he should have won. Moicano fight, for sure, should have won. This one, I mean, it was early, but I mean, I actually thought he was getting the better of the early exchanges. Then he's on top. Bahamondes is like, so, I mean, I was going to say this to you, the commentary is like, he's like cutting him up from the bottom. I'm like, guy, he landed a couple elbows. Like, he's not slight, like, acting like he was just like crushing him with these elbows.
They were pretty good elbows though. The 12-6.
No, there was a couple that were decent, but like they were acting like he was like just
about to finish elbows.
Like they were acting like he was winning from the bottom. Like he's not winning from the bottom here.
Yeah.
But then he throws up the fucking leg triangle. But
Yeah.
yeah,
You could
Turner's.
tell it was
I think we
right
see Turner
away,
back in
too.
a couple
As soon
years.
as he was in it, I was like, fuck, he's done.
Yeah, I knew. That's just kind of Jaylen. Like Turner's not like he's not going Volk mode and like red face popping
Yeah.
out of it. Like
No.
he's honestly,
Yeah.
it was the tap itself. Was very slow. It was very.
Yeah,
He
he's
literally
like,
did like you're tapping. Like it wasn't a panic tap. It wasn't a tap where he seemed like he was like really hurting horribly.
And then I don't mean to like completely bring the mood down on this podcast, but we got to address the robbery, the disgusting robbery that basically opened the night. Francis Fire Marshal, friend of the program, former Jersey City firefighter, absolutely fucked over Marion Santos. Well, Marion Santos over him, but you know what I'm saying.
It was awful. I thought Francis, I thought it was much closer to 30-27 Francis than 29-28 Santos. I thought Francis looked great in there, specifically for a guy that was an underdog. He looked like the favorite.
Plus 200, plus 250, people were getting him at.
And I think
minus 1,600 to close.
And I think I would love to talk to somebody who scored it for Santos.
Not a single media member did.
Yeah, did
MMA decisions? Not a single one for Santos.
Yeah, I
blogged about it.
Did you guys see the verdict MMA thing? They do like the data for each round, and they said it was like the biggest discrepancy ever in the history of their data to like not win the fight. It clearly won all 3 rounds. I mean, dropped them in the first round. The first two were like, to me, the first two were like undebatable. No, not even like you can't even like tell me, give me any like devil's advocate, nothing. Third one, I thought he clearly won, but the third one was like close enough where I was like, all right, if you want to like, if you're really meat riding Santos, you could maybe like, but I still even that with it was 30-27 clear as day. I mean, I had friends like who I mean with like were like yo like, texting me before this like yo great bet like good shit, like congrats, like you nailed it. That was sickening. Like I felt helpless.
He better get his win money. He better get win and show. And I think Dana will do that.
Honestly, I like can't wait to hear what Dana says about it. I'm annoyed at the ESPN thing because that's going to become the biggest focus. And I think if it wasn't, the Marshall thing would have been bigger because that was that was insane.
Disgusting.
Truly
disgusting.
insane.
The ESPN thing was disgusting too. ESPN just didn't work till like the co-main event tonight. That's fucking insane.
I gave up on it. I just stayed. Honestly, I had a good stream. I just stayed on it.
It's been years. How does ESPN not have this figured out by now? It's crazy. The amount of issues for fight nights, for pay-per-views. UFC must be ready for these fucking media rights to be done with. I would assume they're like, we're ready to throw ESPN to the curb.
I've never seen an issue like that for such a big event.
Yeah.
I was saying,
I had people texting me all day. I had Jared Carabas bought this. Nate bought this. Like people were trying to give UFC their money tonight and ESPN couldn't figure it out.
And I've never seen something not like that. Like usually that's something that doesn't like it's messed up for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Yeah. It didn't work until like right before the Gaethje fight. That was 2 hours.
Yeah. And at that point, it's like, all right, I paid $80 for 2 fights.
Shout out to Joshua Van, probably one of the performances of the night. I would even say Ray Tysura. Actually, I came away kind of impressed by him. His cardio was amazing. I even think he looked, I don't want to say decent on the feet, but he seemed all right. He was the guy who went for it. But Joshua Van is a bad man. That was an unbelievable performance. He threw a perfect game. The only thing that didn't happen was the finish, but he got robbed with the finish. That guy was done.
That might have been a worse robbery than Marshall. It wasn't, but it was. I mean, he got knocked out. He got body knocked out. He
quit.
He got kicked in his stomach and dropped to the floor like he got shot. The fight was over. Herzog just bailed him out, and that's so annoying when you had like round 3 was like 12-1. Fight doesn't go the distance. Like Van, I was like, this is crazy. Losing Van round 3 and Marshall in the same night was just, I mean, grotesque, like just truly just agonizing.
What did you think of Mark Smith taking a point from Petrosian? I'm fine with it, but that needs to be like, if that happened, the only thing I was pissed about was 2 weeks ago, I just had Cejudo, lost money on that because like they didn't take a point there. And then tonight, very similar thing happens. Obviously, it's different at the eye pokes. And obviously, Petrosian ends up getting tapped, but the whole fight changes.
No, you're right. If you're going to do that, I'm okay with you doing it. Let's just be consistent with it.
It has to be.
Let's get across the board.
Yeah, so
I think it is okay to take a point in that. Like, he kicked him in the nuts like twice, like in the span of 2 seconds. It was crazy. A lot of nut kicks tonight. A lot of kicks to the dick.
Yeah, no, I agree 100% with what you said on, if this is the way we are going to do it, let's do it this way. Like, that's cool.
And I do believe that shit could affect a fight and be worthy of a point in that.
Bruno Ferreira's a meme lord. He just finds ways to win, which is so annoying. I hate him, but credit to him. I mean, he's obviously like, his power's amazing, but like, he shot that takedown from halfway across the cage. I mean, Petrosian's up there with Jaylen Turner, Ev being just like a bag fumbler. He's just also he cheated a lot during that fight. It was grabbing the fence.
Lemos had her toes in the fence tonight, like I've never seen. Those things were like talons clawing in, and the ref didn't say anything.
Yeah, I thought, did Poatan grab the fence late in the 5th, or did I make that up?
I think he
definitely did a little bit for sure.
And when he had the hands around the hips, right?
He did it, and Goddard really came over and gave like a good look, like right behind him. Like he was, hold on, like not again.
And then I thought when Ink was turning him a little bit, like Poatan was kind of going down, and he kind of grabbed it, and I was like, why isn't Rogan or DC or Anik talking about it? Because they love talking about that, but
they were never to Poatan.
Never to Poatan.
Rogan legit. Rogan, there's guys he sucks off. Poatan is like.
Yeah, he's one.
Like number one. Like,
how about the one, the only tonight? Bruce Buffer hit him with the one, the only. And John Anik said he called him earlier in the day and was like, "Do you think I should do it for him?" And he's like, "Fuck yeah, you should, Bruce Buffer."
I think
he's worthy of it, even though he immediately lost the title.
His aura had earned that. His aura walking into the ring tonight was.
People are saying the Zuck curse as well.
Yeah,
Zuck was in his locker room beforehand. I don't know. I literally last night I watched The Social Network, so it was weird for me to see Zuck right after that again.
I'm just he's the number one star in the UFC. Poatan. It's unbelievable. And it really hurts for the UFC that he lost, but you know he'll be back. But it's crazy how big he is. He's perfect. He doesn't speak English, but he's amazing. He's just, everyone loves him.
Yeah.
He's the perfect, like, he's the perfect warrior that, like, everyone, like, he's like your, like, if you could have, like, crafted a guy in a lab to be like he's just a brute. Like, he's just an absolute stone-faced brute, stone hands, just, like, never die. Like, this was really his first, like, I guess, the Blachowicz fight wasn't that exciting, but that one and this one are really the only two fights he's ever had that weren't just like insanely like box office moments. Like even when he loses, he got viciously knocked out. It was one of the all-time highlight reels in UFC history. But most of the time he's on the giving end of it.
Also, Dana is doing his post-fight press conference right now. Have some updates from Aaron Bronstetter's Twitter. White says the main event was not what he expected. He expected more exchanges. Says an immediate rematch is probably next. Gaethje and Fiziev, obviously, fight of the night. He heard there were a lot of pissed off people who had issues buying the pay-per-view tonight. And they're talking a little bit about boxing now. He likes the idea of TKO boxing being the name. It hasn't been finalized yet, but that's seemingly what it's going to be. White on if he's going to be on a stage with De La Hoya or Bob Arum one night and playing nice. He says, I hope not. The relationship between Dana and Turkey is going to be fascinating to watch because they just don't seem like, I mean, obviously, like business-wise, they're two billionaires that could put together, you know, the biggest stuff. Personality wise, they don't seem like they clash. Like they're not boys right away. I don't think. I mean, Turkey was
and
making
Dana,
Dana
you're
hold his
saying?
hand. Yeah, Turkey was like, Dana, hold my hand. And they walked holding hands. Like, Dana's not a hold hands guy.
No.
You know what I mean? So that's going to be, I can't wait to watch that unfold. Just the relationship between these two.
I think Turkey just has too much money to give a fuck.
Yeah, I think he does too.
Like even the on McAfee when he's like saying like don't announce it, like Turkey's like who gives a shit if they know or they don't know.
Yeah.
Like if we have to move it back, then he's like fuck it, I'll just move it back. Like he's like who gives a shit? Did you see the little? I saw Magic posted that the quote he had talking about Bivol. Very funny. Like it was very just like I forget exactly. He basically, it was Bivol something talking about like trying to negotiate whether he was definitely going to do the trilogy or he was going to go fight like Benavidez or something. And Turkey basically was just like, I'm paraphrasing, but he essentially was like, you know who takes care of you and who like fucks you over. Like it was very like come to daddy. Like, you know, daddy, daddy takes care of you. Daddy gives you the money. Like, you know, like you know better than to go, like almost like very Don-esque. Like he's like, you know better than to like come like don't go, you know, they're losers over there. Like you know where the money's at over here. You know where it's real. Very funny.
Was there anything else on 313 that we didn't hit that we want to talk about?
Lemos decent. I mean, not what I expected at all from the fight stylistically, but I mean, good win for Lemos. I don't know where you go. Not exciting fight for her. I don't know where you really go. I mean, you give her someone else in the top 5, 6, I guess, but she's not getting like another title shot off that.
Dana also just said he let the truck know that Jaylen Turner was going to retire, but heard someone in the cage talked him out of it. I think he might have the wrong info there because we saw the footage of him outside at the cage talking about his decision to retire. So I don't know. That might have just been lost in the chaos of the night. It's also 3:04 a.m. Daylight savings happened while we were live. Breaking daylight savings.
This is the second time we've done this. We've done this.
Right? It is. Yeah. I think we have
done this before.
Blades was sick. That fight got canceled. They're pointing that out in the chat. Bryce Mitchell made a cameo. Correct. Big boos for Bryce Mitchell. He went from being like everyone's favorite village idiot to he's the Nazi that people want to see get knocked out now.
Yeah, but Gene Silva brought the globe.
Oh, he brought the globe. He had people chanting, fuck Bryce Mitchell. Fuck Bryce Mitchell. The way he was doing that chant was so funny. So yeah, that's going to be a fucking hell of a fight.
That'll be a great fight.
That'll be scenes.
Also, they moved the card place, the bout placement.
Like it's third.
It's number 3 now.
Main event. Yeah, next.
It's number 3, and Yair Pitbull is the featured prelim,
which is crazy.
I actually like it because looking at it, I was like, they threw Reyes Krylov on there, which I was like, yeah, this is a banger to not be on the main card originally. I think they needed some size on the main card.
Yeah,
a lot of featherweights and lightweights. They needed some.
And
size.
That is like when you put Rodriguez versus Yair versus Pitbull on the prelim like that, it's like holy fuck, like that.
Yeah, no, exactly.
You're like off into the paper.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, I think it's great. It's gonna be a great fight. I think that's it. I actually like the decision.
Yeah. All right. That was the Spinning Back Fist MMA show, UFC 313 edition. We'll catch you next week for more MMA news and whatnot. See you then.